Hey you guys, I'm going to apologize right up front that this video is probably going to get long. I had some people ask some questions about digital designs, and I want to try and answer as many of those questions as I can in this video. So if you're an experienced person with digital layouts and printing and stuff like that, you may want to move on to the next video, because I would rather this be lengthy than I would leave something out. So we're going to break this out. I might break it out into a couple of segments, but for the most part, yesterday I had some really great questions about my journal that I'm making for the Marion Smith Challenge, and I want to try and address those. One is, a lady asked me, when she downloads the kits, did the paper design and the templates for cutting out the envelopes come in one file? Yes, the answer is yes. When you buy from Marion Smith's store, now this is not always true with every scrapbook digital kit that you buy, but I'm going to speak for this journal because that's the only thing I have in front of me. But when you buy Marion's designs, this is what you get in the download. And I'm going to show you a few of them so that you understand, you know, the differences between what they look like. But basically, if you are going to download this envelope, and this is a kit from Marion now, what Marion does is you have the design, but then you also get the outline of where to cut. So the solid shape, the solid lines are where to cut, and then you also get these dashed marks of where to score. So the cool thing about this is that, you know, you have a roadmap, and the design is already pre-printed on here for you. The other thing, you know, people are concerned about is, wow, these dash marks are very, very strong. And when I fold this, I can still see them on the edge. Simple resolution, just distress the edges. You won't see it anymore. Just take some of a darker color, like a walnut stain, or maybe even your black soot or something like that, vintage photo, a darker color, and just go around the edges. You won't see it. The other thing too is sometimes you get designs that look like this. What you would do is you could do two things with this, or several things actually. What you would do is you could cut along the perimeter of the design and then fold it in half to make like a little booklet. Or front and back page, just glue it together. You could also fold it in half and then only glue it on 3 edges, and that would make it into a pocket. Good. I mean, you know, you have lots of options here. You could fold it, or you could just, you know, cut it along the perimeter, but also cut it in half along here to have 2 separate sheets. So you have plenty of options there as well. The other thing is, this design was printed at 100%. This design, I went into the printer properties and changed it to 50%, and this is what I got. So now I've taken this exact same design, and I have an awesome little journal card to go that matches my design. The other benefit to printing digital designs like this is that you can use them over and over again. You can change the way they look by simply changing the color of the paper. With my template yesterday that I gave you to download, if you printed it on white cardstock, oh, and the cardstock that I'm using, I am using normal everyday cover stock, which is usually 65 pound to 110 pound. This is the Georgia Pacific white cardstock that I got at Walmart. I think it's 110 pound white. You don't want to use, I mean, if you want paper's usually about 20 to 25 pound. The heavier the pound, like if you go to 65 to 110, the heavier the pound, the thicker the cardstock, so the better the quality. I like to stay anywhere between 65 to 110 pound. 65 is a little thin for me, but still doable. This is a bright white that I printed this on, and then get this look. This is a manila cardstock color, just a plain manila color, and this is the look I got. So it gives a little bit more aged look. On this one, I printed it out on craft cardstock, and I don't even know if the video is going to pick it up, but the lines are very faint, which is another bonus because now my journaling hand will come out versus seeing all these lines. So I really like the look of the craft. You know, so you can get a different look for the same image by just printing it on different colors of cardstock. You can get a different look by printing it at different percentages. The only thing, remember, is you can always go down, but don't ever size up. Some images are very high resolution and you could size up at least 50%, but you're going to start seeing pixelation and blur going on if you push it too far out. So remember, in digital you can always go down, but you can't always go up. So the other option would be printing. Oh, the other question was printing. One lady asked, she said, your images look so crisp and clear, how are you printing them? Well, there are a couple of different ways you could print. One is you could obviously invest in if this is something that looks like you're going to do a lot, you could invest into a color laser printer. I'm not telling you to run out and buy a laser printer, but I will tell you this: if you check places like Craigslist, look for offices that are closing, you can usually get a pretty good deal on an older laser printer, which would be fine for scrapbooking. Just do some homework before you do it. Make sure that you can still find toner cartridges for it. Make sure that check service agreements and things like that. So, because if it's real pricey, maintenance on it could get kind of pricey. Now, I'm lucky because I live in a college town too. So I have office type places everywhere, copy centers and Office Depot, Staples, all that kind of stuff. So usually they get into a bidding war on their color copies, and you can get them pretty cheap printed there. Do some homework on that before you go investing in a lot of digital files. Find out, what's the most cost-effective way to print these, because you still ultimately, at the end of the day, you still have to print them. The other upside to digital versus, regular traditional scrapbooking is that once you receive this file, you can manipulate it and add things to it to make it your own. Of course, you still have to give credit back to the artist, and you have to pay attention to copyright infringements. You can't turn around and resell an image that you've altered to make your own. Be careful of copyright laws. I'm not telling you to go steal anybody's work, but little things like adding 31-day journal to it, printing it out. I could have added Tonya's 31-day journal, so you can have a little fun with that to make it your own, make it a little unique. If you're really good at Photoshop and things like that, you can even go in and maybe, like I will probably pull this up and get rid of this number 1 that's on this envelope so I can use it for a different purpose. Again, the shrinking thing, oh my goodness, could you imagine this envelope being this big? Oh, it would be so cute. Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. ADHD kicked in. The other option for printing is I have an HP 4500 Office Jet. The downside to printing on an Office Jet or a ink-based printer is that the ink will smear if it gets wet. Maybe a look you're after, it just adds a little more distress to it as far as I'm concerned. But if you've got text or something that you don't want to be blurred, you might want to not go that route. Or what you may want to do instead is maybe glimmer mist and distress the paper before you print it out. That's an option. A great thing about your inkjet printers is you can do things on inkjets you can't do on laser jets. Like you can print on canvas, sticky back canvas. You can print on ribbon. How many people knew you could print on ribbon? You can print on different mediums that you ordinarily can't do on a laser printer because of the heat transfer that happens in the laser versus the ink. So, like it or not, scrapbooking is evolving into a digital world. A lot of these companies are realizing that people want to be able to have the flexibility of doing it themselves. So, it's one of those things where we're going to evolve into that, and playing with it now is an awesome advantage. You can do so much with it. It's so much more flexible. So anyway, I hope this kind of cleared up a few things for you guys. Another thing I want to point out about the digital kits is that, when you buy Marian's kits, usually if you buy from the same artist, like if you bought a bunch of House of 3 kits and then you bought a bunch of Marian's kits, if you look at them, because the artist's style is depicted obviously into the kit, they mix and match a lot of the times. A lot of the House of 3 brushes, if you had participated in all of that, their stuff, collection after collection after collection, you could mix and match it together. So that's another bonus to digital. If you look at this design, this is another page from this particular kit. It has this rose pattern in it. It has this distressed lines, but it's a very neutral pattern. So it could easily be used with the Journey kit. See how well they coordinate together? 2 different kits. This one I printed on, the manila cardstock versus the white, but still, I could take this journal card, it would fit inside this envelope, just cut it, maybe you have to trim it down just a little bit down here, but how cute is this with this? So, it mix and matches, you can mix and match your kits a lot. Another thing too is, a lot of these images are just outstanding images. This is beautiful, by the way. Let me show you this. This is one from the Journey kit, but look at how well it coordinates with this design as well. So I could easily, if I wanted to save a little bit of money on this kit, buying it a la carte, if I had already bought this kit, I could probably mix and match these pages with these pages and vice versa. The other thing is too, you could probably buy the first 15 days and print it twice and, put them in here in different orders and it would still all match. So there's a lot of flexibility with digital kits. I hope I've cleared up some of the questions that people have asked me. As far as the images go that I'm using for my photographs inside this kit, because this is a journal and because I don't have to worry about the longevity of it, I have printed these out on my inkjet printer, the 4500. I just used the HP 40 or the HP borderless photo paper. It's glossy, and I just printed those out on the inkjet printer. So it's easy to print. Also, yesterday when I was doing this, I hadn't printed the picture yet on day 4, so I'm going to show you day 4. Day 4, what it is just a screen capture. I took a photograph of the actual screen of the note card that I was making, and these are all of the layers in Photoshop that it took to create this layout. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope I've cleared up some of this. If you still have questions, this may continue because, like I said, one of my goals this year is to do a lot of digital stuff. So we may continue on with some digital classes, talks like this, that kind of thing. So if it's something you're interested in, let me know. Because I really think the reason people don't go there is because they're intimidated. And I'd like to ease some of that intimidation because really it's not necessary. I mean, there's a lot of fun things you can do. As of right now, I've had some people ask me if I would do some Photoshop classes. As of right now, I really don't have the capability of doing Photoshop classes because I don't have capture software, and I'd have to put the camera up and let you see the screen, and my screen is like 13 inches wide, so it would be very cumbersome for me to do it. If I happen to invest in the capture software and can do it, then I will later on. But for now, there's just no physical way that I can do it and affordably and then still make a quality video. So no Photoshop classes as of now. However, if you do YouTube videos, or if you do some YouTube searches and some internet searches, there's a lot of great programs out there like Picasso and Photoshop Elements and things like that that have awesome tutorials that go with them. Remember that it's not so much what they're teaching you in it is what the it's not so much the steps that they're teaching you as it is the concepts that they're teaching you. And most of the time, if it's a Photoshop like Photoshop CS5 tutorial, it can be done in Elements. You just may have to research a little bit and find out, what elements, what you you know, how to do it in the elements. But half the battle is knowing it exists. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I hope I've cleared up some of this. I'll talk to you guys later.